Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm Steph and I'm down over 50 pounds. I'm actually on track to being down 60 pounds total. I have a little bit more to go. My highest weight was 273 pounds and as of today I'm 216 pounds. I still have a ways to go to get to a normal body weight, but I've lost a good chunk off my body so far, I would say. And so I wanted to share some tips of how I lost the weight and had kept it off. Mostly focusing on keeping it off because I'm still trying to lose the weight, so I haven't completely mastered it. Like, it's a lot of habits that I need to change in myself. The first thing I would say is have a shift in your mindset. So this weight loss journey should not be a punishment. Look at it as a self-care journey to get you to a healthier weight. You being overweight is just a factual thing, like no emotions behind it. You have excess weight on your body. This is not a reflection of your character. You just developed habits and rituals that most likely made you overconsume on food. So for me, I was an emotional eater. I would indulge in fast food, honestly, way too much. Like, most of my meals were fast food, and that is just not healthy for anyone to live off of fast food. So I did go into this weight loss changing my mindset in a positive light rather than a negative one. So at the 273 pounds, my moment of clarity was I was carrying groceries up to my second floor apartment, and it was the winter time here in New England. I was out of breath. I was sweating a lot, and it was winter. And I just told myself I deserve a life that I'm not dealing with this. Like, I deserve more than what I was doing to myself. And so that was the change in my mindset. I was like, I deserve a life where I am not sweating and out of breath doing something as mundane as bringing my groceries up to my apartment. So that was a big shift in how I looked at things. And then shortly after that, I lost 30 pounds. I actually made a video on it, and I've continued my weight loss. I need to be better about sticking to my habits, but I'm proud that I've kept losing weight instead of putting it all back on and actually sustained the weight loss so far. So the big thing to take out of that is that shaming myself didn't make me lose weight. I knew I had to lose weight. I was mad at myself for gaining the weight and shaming myself. But when I changed my mindset of like, no, you deserve better, that's when the weight loss started. Shaming myself didn't make me lose weight. Loving myself did, and treating myself like I did love myself is really what got the ball rolling. I don't know, I said ball like that. Got the ball rolling. My next tip is just start. There will never be a perfect time for you to start a diet. Life does not stop and wait for you to start a diet, so might as well just roll with it and start adopting healthy habits slowly and consistently. So the reason I say just start is because a lot of the time, including myself, people will say, oh, I'll start on Monday, I'll start at the beginning of next month, or I'll start at the new year. And saying that to yourself almost gives you the green light to then what I call like the last hurrah mindset, and it allows you to overindulge in the foods that you're already eating because in your brain you're like, I can't eat this while I'm on a diet. So you're almost like backtracking yourself even more and changing those habits harder because you're conditioning yourself to overindulge in those foods even more so. And so that's what I call my last hurrah. I would overindulge in those foods, and it would make it much harder to then stick to the diet because I was straying even further from the habits that I was trying to develop with a diet, you know? I hope that makes sense. So when you go all in on having a later start date and doing like that last hurrah binge that I was talking about, you're actually building that disordered eating habits that you had created and making it even harder to get into the good habits that you're trying to adopt. if you decide to start eating healthier, just do it. No last hurrah, no I'll start Monday. Just pick a meal or a time where you can change something in a healthier way, whether it's incorporating more vegetables into your diet, more protein, just something very simple and small that you can take on in your lifestyle so that you can start building into healthier habits. My next piece of advice, or something that I've noticed in myself, is know you will not be perfect. You are fundamentally changing almost who you are as a person right now based on the habits that you've created for yourself. And that's gonna be tough to change. Not impossible, but tough. That's the hard part of weight loss, is changing those habits. Weight loss itself is simple. Calories in, calories out. But changing who you are at this moment is the tough part. Trust me, I'm still learning to change myself so that I can get to a healthier weight. But just know you won't be perfect. It's gonna take some time. You need to create small changes in your habits to guarantee overall long-term success. What I would do going from eating fast food a lot was I would look at healthier foods and think, how can I eat something that I'll still enjoy? So going from like McDonald's to eating a salad at home but having like a bit of ranch dressing and a frozen chicken patty. Is that the best thing for you? No, but it was like a bridge to getting me to healthier eating. So that frozen chicken patty and ranch with salad would then eventually turn into me making a cilantro dressing with grilled chicken. So just looking at where you are today, small changes that you can make to then snowball into bigger changes. Like if I had went from fast food to grilled chicken with a vinaigrette, I don't think I would have kept on doing it, to be honest. So the next thing is, as you're going through this journey, you'll learn that there will be fluctuations and times where you fall off the wagon. So my advice is, when that happens, try to get back on as quickly as you can. Don't let a long amount of time pass by, but also don't immediately just like give up. Like there will be times where you're not doing things as consistently as possible, but that doesn't mean that you can't get back on the wagon, if you will. So I actually had a season recently where I fell off the wagon. I actually gained back about 7 pounds. I actually did get down 60 pounds, but then gained 7 pounds back. And instead of being mad at myself and like shaming myself, I was like, okay, you did this. Time to get back on, like, you know what you're supposed to do. And I've actually lost 3 of those 7 pounds, so I'm back on track to getting back down to 60 pounds overall. I'm sorry, I'm doing the math, but it kind of goes back to like, there's a lot of fluctuation on this journey. And it's just knowing that if you mess up, or if you're in a season where you're not being as consistent as you should be, get back on. Don't shame yourself. What happened, happened. Just get back on, don't let any more time pass by, and know that you're just trying to better yourself. Which is so hard, because I think a lot of people, including myself before, would be so upset and be so like beat down on myself because of my weight. And the way too, I was looking at my weight when I first was losing it, I didn't want to know how much I weighed. I knew I weighed a lot, and I didn't want to know what that number was. But when I was climbing the stairs, was out of breath, I knew I needed to make a change. And what I told myself before I got on the scale was, I'm that weight whether I know it or not, but if I know it, I can watch that weight go down. And so I think also too, a piece of advice is looking at your weight today as objective. You weigh what you weigh. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. It's, you weigh what you weigh today. Doesn't, like I said, it doesn't mean anything about your character. And so looking at it without that emotional aspect, I think also helped me. Like, I was 273 pounds. I have the power to change that. And I think that also really helped me too, is looking at this like kind of objectively and medically, if that makes sense. Like, you are what you are, you can fix it, instead of crying, because crying won't do anything. It feels good in the moment to let it out, but crying wasn't gonna make me lose weight. Another thing that helped me was investing in my health outside of weight loss. So I would make sure I went to my primary care doctor annually. I would make sure I went to my dentist appointments. I would get my eyes checked once a year, or how often they say to do that. I recently started getting my hair cut on a scheduled amount of time, so that's been feeling nice. Doing those appointments that help with your overall health and self-care makes you look at yourself differently. Like, I'm investing in myself, I'm taking care of myself, so then that translates to, well, I want to eat healthier and take better care of my body, my cardiovascular health, by exercising and really feeding into that whole holistic look of your body in general, if that makes sense. So I think going to my doctors, keeping up with my doctors, knowing the state of my health, makes me really want to take care of myself, if you will, when it comes to exercising and eating healthier. Like, it feels good to take care of yourself. I've dealt with anxiety and depression, and it feels terrible, but the things that really make you feel better are the tough things that people don't want to do, like exercising and eating healthier. The reason I also got out of my season of gaining weight was I told my fiance Manny, I feel off, I feel tired, I feel anxious, I need to get up and exercise and eat healthier. And I've been doing that for like the last couple weeks, and I do feel better from that. So I think doing things that help with your overall self-care and things you would do for a loved one, like, you love yourself, so do those things for yourself too, really help with the overall goal of just being a healthier being. The next thing is no fad diets. You got to the weight that you are today. It took a bit of time. You're not going to do a fad diet or a magic bullet that is going to make you lose weight magically overnight. It's going to take time. So instead of doing a fad diet and crashing because it's just like something that's not sustainable, make small changes to your day-to-day life, which will then build into bigger changes. So take things slow, no fad diets. That's why they're fads, because they never stick around. Calories in, calories out. You don't have to buy anything crazy to lose weight. Just opt for healthier options of foods that you don't have to buy someone's plan to buy. You just go to the grocery store. They got vegetables at the grocery store, they got proteins. You don't need to buy someone's shake online. That's not gonna be the answer to losing weight. And then the last thing, it kind of ties back to my first point, is the mindset shift in noticing your habits. So when I was at my highest weight and like starting to lose weight, I think I even struggle with this now, honestly, if I'm being honest. I made a habit of, if I went out with people or I had like a big work thing or work event, on the way home, I would stop and get like something sweet, most likely ice cream. And that was a habit I created in myself, and I started to look into my eating habits and realize that that was something that I did. So as I started my weight loss journey, I realized that that was a compulsion that I had. And as I started to feel that, like leaving a work event, leaving a group of friends, going home, and I would feel that feeling bubble up of like, you need to stop and go get something sweet, because like that's just what I trained myself to do, like through my habits. And I would have to tell myself that that was a habit that you created, Steph. You like your ice cream. But that will not help you with your overall goal. You won't feel good afterwards. Like honestly, you'll feel good during the moment, but you're not going to feel good about doing that afterwards. And you're also prolonging that bad habit the more I indulge in that compulsion. So I would tell myself, like, you need to just not do that, because each time you do it, you're just strengthening that compulsion to stop and get ice cream. And so that's what I tell myself. I'm not like saying, oh, you're weak, you're this. I look at it very technically. You created a habit and compulsion of stopping for ice cream. You really don't need that ice cream. Like, not even like saying like, you big girl, you don't need the ice cream. It was like, you don't need it. Like, your body feels like it needs it because you've trained it to feel like it needs it. You really don't need it. And so I try to tell myself that when those feelings start to bubble up and stuff, it's like, Steph, that's a habit. You don't need the ice cream. Just go home. And if I go home and I'm still feeling like peckish or something, I'll just eat something at the house. Like, I really don't need that 1,000 calories of ice cream. When I don't go indulge in the ice cream, honestly, by the time I get home, that feeling's kind of passed. And I think it's because it's like I didn't stop. So my body's like, oh, okay, you're not doing the action of driving and going home anymore when I would be rewarded with ice cream. So I guess, never mind. I don't know. I don't know how my brain works like that, or how the human mind works. But if I don't stop, it's hard in the moment. Like, I want to stop, but once I'm past wherever I would get ice cream typically from, that feeling would soon pass. I think realizing what are compulsions or habits that you created is also helpful in the weight loss. It's like, ask yourself, why do I want that pizza? Is it because I've trained myself to want that pizza? Because I usually get pizza when I go to the gym or something? I don't know. Like, really look into your habits and why you start to feel the way you feel, and really just like talk yourself through it and try to understand the processing in your brain, if that makes sense. And the last point, which was a huge eye-opener to me once I started my weight loss journey, was the more I distance myself from the fast food or eating out a lot and stuff and cooking at home more, I realized that that food actually didn't taste as good as it seemed when I was eating fast food all the time. So I remember I got fast food probably like months after I stopped indulging in fast food. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of terrible. And it's like, I can make something at home more delicious with less calories. Working on breaking the habits of stopping at fast food or whatever food you indulge in, like crazily a lot, because I indulge in food crazily a lot, you'll start to realize that it doesn't actually taste as good as you remember it, and you could probably make food taste better at home. Yeah, so sorry if this was kind of rambly. I wanted to share some of the things that I noticed about myself and my habits when I lost the weight so far. I still have a lot to go, so I'm obviously still trying to learn why I do the things I do when it comes to eating habits. But I've lost almost 60 pounds probably within 2 to 3 years. So it's taken me a bit too, but I am proud that I haven't gained all the weight back. Like, I'm at least trending in the right direction. And when my weight does start to creep up, I have tools in my tool belt to be like, hey, no, get back to the plan, keep going, and eventually I'll hit my goals. So my goal right now is to be below 200 by the end of the year. Got 16 pounds left, so something I'm working on. Stay tuned to watch that journey. So I appreciate you all for watching. Let me know some tips that you guys have when you started your weight loss journey, or if you want to hear more tips of how I sustained my weight loss so far. And obviously I'm still working on it, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. All right, thanks. Bye.